one of the things is about that, Pink, and I appreciate your point of view. I think it was great, and I definitely encourage men to do that. But ladies, you got to give a man a safe place. You have
Very true.
to give him a safe space. If you don't, he's not going to communicate. Why do I feel like I need to share something, a vulnerable moment that happened in my life, when you're going to tell everybody in the neighborhood about what happened to me? And
Absolutely.
now,
He
how
is
does that make me?
100% right.
I cannot trust you anymore. So once I lose that trust, then I go into a deep, dark place of silence. I can't trust to share that vulnerable situation. And this is what a man will do. I'm gonna give y'all a hint. A man will throw a test out there. He will throw a test out there with something he already handled mentally and emotionally and physically dealt with. He's past it. It's no longer an issue for him. But he'll put it out there to see how you respond to it, to see how you act on it, to see if Aunt, Aunt Malona and your church members know about the situation that I shared with you. If you're going to hold water or not, a man will do that. And once he realizes either you can do it, now he's more willing, he'll be open and more share with you more. He'll give you more opportunities to share his vulnerabilities or to share what he's really feeling. But if you fuck it up, you fucked up. And he's done. He won't tell you another goddamn thing. He will act, he will move accordingly. He'll act and say, you ask him, well, baby, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. But deep inside, he's crying. He's in pain. He's going through some shit. He's going through some time. But you'll never know. Why? Because of 2 years ago of what he shared with you, that you let everybody and the mama know, and he didn't want that to be known, and you just did him bad. And he won't, and it's hard to get that trust back. Now, it could be done. It's going to take us some time, a lot of prayer, but it could be done. But he's going to be limited until you can win him over and realize he can trust you again.
Also, to add on top of what you said, Hank, as far as like the safe space goes, trust is definitely an important part of it. I think another good part of it is like creating a space where it can be only his emotions, because I think a lot of times when men do give their emotions to women, I think a lot of times, because y'all are emotional, sometimes y'all take it in and then react with your emotions, like how you feel about what he just said. And it might trigger you. And I think that being able to create a space where it's like, okay, this isn't about me right now. How I feel right now, it matters, but right now it doesn't matter. Right now, this moment, whether it be this 30 minutes, this hour, is all about how he feels, and give him the opportunity to say everything he got to say, get it all out, and then you just sit with it, take it, process it separately, and then come back later with your feelings. Because I do find that a lot of times what will make us as men feel unsafe in a space is trying to process and share our emotions, trying to identify them, like Di was saying. And when you're doing all that emotional work to try to identify, then process, and then communicate those emotions, and then you're immediately met with the emotions of another that you then have to also process, it can kind of become extremely difficult. Also, it's also can be difficult because
Oh
you guys
man.
are quicker at processing those emotions. So it can become like a fight, because it's like I'm trying to process and I'm sharing with you, but then you're already come back. So what you saying? You saying that means this and that. And it's like, yo, like you're doing too much processing and you're all the way down here with the conversation. It's like, yo, give me space to get there with you. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes because y'all are so used to that emotional way of communicating, processing, y'all be jumping the gun. And it's like, yo, like we're not there with y'all yet. You know, like slow it down a little bit, try to hold your emotions in a little bit and just let me get it out. And then like then we could be on the same page, and like now we both communicating our emotions. And then I'll get up to speed as you learn how I communicate and you start understanding my emotions and I start understanding yours. I'll be able to get up to speed and, you know, give it to you just as fast and respond quickly. But I think that's something that has to be given time as well.
Yeah, Ray, I think you was trying to say something too, wasn't you? I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that Cloud gave a real good perspective on how men are like silenced in a way. Like I know we were talking about how we're just in general, you guys are. I'm thinking it's just from family told to man up. Like when boys cry, it's like man up. No, don't. But when a girl cries, what's wrong, baby? Something. Not saying all households are like that. I'm just saying in general, that's what we imagine when boys emote, things. But then you gave a perspective of it happening in school. It happening in different ways in the household where that man has to step up. And what if he had a bad day? What if he got bullied? Or what if he, just different things that you don't even consider that young men feel or endure from single mothers or mothers who are being abused or not, or both, having both parents in the house. Sometimes the father's not always right. So, it was just something to think about. And I just wanted to just note that, like, that was mine, that was eye-opening. Yeah. So the ways that you guys are suppressed. But speaking of being a safe space, man, I guess that's something to consider too, because knowing that we process faster. It's so funny because we're also indoctrinated to believe or to be in a space of let me find a man who can lead. So we're thinking, you with me. You know what I'm saying? If I process, but I'm processing faster. So, but this is who I'm supposed to be following, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's something that we both need to consider, that you're right. Maybe if I did process it faster than my man, I do have to create or already have had boundaries in place to give you space to go through it. You know what I mean? And catch up with me and decide we can have at least to the point we can have a conversation. But I think that's that's just something to consider on both ends. Yeah, this conversation was cool.
Yeah, now I could self-reflect. Thank you, Cloud. Thank you. Because that just made, I didn't never think of it that way, but by you wording it that way, it was just everything.
Good Cloud, man. Y'all gonna have cloud cheesing all night, man.
No, for real, because it's almost like that's why men should talk more, because that was beautiful. Like, that was as eloquent as it could have gotten.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and start to close out, man. But I mean, just final words too. Sometimes some men don't mind having that strong role. They've been conditioned and they can handle it. But what I think they do need and would be just a nice gesture is just showing some appreciation. A soft touch. You don't even have to talk about it, but just walking up to them and saying, "Hey, I appreciate you." Just that acknowledgement alone can give them a little bit more strength to kind of push through being that manly man. I was one of them people that I don't really express too much feelings. I don't think it's for everyone, but sometimes just having that appreciation or knowing somebody value who you've been and how you've been showing up all that time, it just says a lot. And when we speak about listening doesn't have to be with your ears. It can be with your eyes as well. And so you can observe and pay attention and be intentional in your observation, because sometimes people can be going through stuff. The weight that a man carries, dealing with your emotions, dealing with the world, like how society views what a man is, even the struggles, even the struggle for a man to endure the pain and endure the hardship without no complaints. It's a lot for a man to bear. So just you observing it and not having to point it out and just, hey, I appreciate you. Hey, I decided to fix you some meat. Hey, I decided to book you a spa day. Those little things go a long way. So keep that in mind as you guys paying attention to that special guy in your life. Also fathers too, man. Even if he's a good father, show that man some love, man.